Good morning, UUMAN. I'm Greg Wagoner, a member of this congregation. On behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, our Director of Religious Exploration, Lexi Tagney Brown, Music Director, Alex Peach, my fellow worship associates, and the dedicated technical team that is making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. Did you know that last month, UUMAN's solar panels generated 777 kilowatt hours of electricity, saving us $93, and more importantly, 14 trees. Details about our solar panel energy production can be seen on the running slideshow in the rear of the fellowship hall, right there. We are a liberal faith community with a mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. If there are any of you visiting us for the first time and feel comfortable doing so, please identify and introduce yourself so we can worship with one another as friends. Is there anybody on my left?
Absolutely sure, without a smidgen of a doubt, that it was going to be Atlanta. My daughter just moved here, and I am absolutely sure. So now I was like, let's figure out how to do this.
Welcome, Rashid. And on my right? Cool. We have a few adult enrichment offerings this morning, and please refer to your order of service for the class locations. I'm not going to read them out or anything, it's fine. Next week, you will be able to get your name tags before service. The foyer area will be open coming next week. Yeah. For youth religious exploration this morning, we're offering playgroup at 10 a.m., which is like now, and curriculum at 11:15. Both of these activities will be held in Discovery Hall that way. Next Sunday, March 12th, marks the return of the chili cook-off at noon after second hour. All are welcome. Any questions, ask Mike Chambers or Jane Sewell, and look for an announcement in your email. And Amanda, do you have something to share? Another announcement. There she is.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda. A couple things. At the end of the service, please help us to clear the chairs as we are in our temporary sanctuary. We do need to put these back. And then today, we have this little thing called Breeze, okay? And it is a church database and kind of scheduling software system that we use. It's all on the internet. And today after service during second hour we're having another session for those who are chairs, committee chairs, so please attend. We are giving 2 more member sessions, and I believe that's going to be March 19th and I believe April 26th. But just keep watching your announcements and things, and please make sure you attend these Breeze boot camps so that you know how to use this software and database. Thanks.
Hi there. I'm Martin, your Stewardship Committee Chair. What is a community? When Aaron and I were looking for not just a wedding site, but a place that would be our home to build our new faith tradition for our life, we found it at a UU church. When we had children and wanted fellowship with other families and a foundation for their education, we found it at a UU church. And later, when we prepared to move to a new state where we didn't know very many people yet, before we had even picked out a new home, we visited here at UUMAN and were welcomed right away. Since then, through good times and bad, we've found support, acceptance, learning, and enjoyment here. With the darkest days of gathering restrictions starting to lift, it's a time for optimism, of reconnecting with a community that we value now more than ever. Reuniting with old friends, welcoming new friends to our community, watching our children grow and mature, and seeing the ripple effects we have on the world. As one example, this Thursday, March 9th, all who yet identify as young adults are welcome to join us for an evening of welcoming community plus games and pizza. Bring a friend. And then after service day, please join me in the stewardship committee to reconnect and recommit. Why not complete your pledge form today, and why not make this the year for a new commitment to UUMAN? Thank you so much.
But not least. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I am one of the members of your UUMAN Board of Trustees. I am here because there's one visitor who may not know that we are a part of the Unitarian Universalist Association. So every year, all congregations get together. UUMAN has been represented throughout the years. And last year, our board decided that we would sponsor a board member to go to General Assembly. That's what it's called. It's like a convention for Unitarians. And this year, all our board members that are going are self-funding. So we thought we would offer that funding to a member of our congregation. And who better to do that but a young adult? So we've asked around, and Mira Pilar Kosbar has agreed to be our representative, and which is great. So we're funding her registration, but she needs a little cash, people. So our treasurer has made it very easy for us to help her pay for her hotel, her meals, her flight, her little Unitarian pin or whatever she needs to buy. If anybody is interested in donating miles or hotel rewards, we're happy to listen to you. In the meantime, any of you who are willing and able to contribute to that expense can go to Givelify, and in one of those little tags it says send YA to GA. So please keep Mira in mind. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. If you have any questions, see me after the service. Thank you.
When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Good morning. I guess spring is coming because when I got up this morning, there was this film of green stuff on my car. That's what I love about Georgia. This morning's call to worship is by the Reverend Marilyn Sewell, writing about our denomination at times. She writes, "We must no longer prioritize petty quarrels about how religious or not religious our language and words should be, or prioritize conflicts between the humanists or those more spiritually inclined, or to have squabbles about who's in charge. It's grown-up time now. The mission of the church is not only to meet our needs, the mission of the church is to heal our world. And for us at UUMAN specifically, our mission is to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. It's to give ourselves something larger than ourselves. And ironically, when we give of ourselves in this way, we find that our deepest needs are met. And now let us light our chalice together.
We come together every week, bound not by a creed or a mutual desire to please one God or many gods. Yet we are drawn together by a belief that how we are in the world, who we are together, matters. We light this chalice together in the knowledge that love, not fear, can change this world.
As many of you know, I love music. And I have to, thinking about it, I have to credit my older brother, he's 7 years older than me, with kind of turning me on to different varieties of music. I don't know where he got it from because we didn't live in a very diverse town growing up, but he was listening to like salsa music and smooth jazz when he was in high school, and I would be listening to this stuff in the background. One thing he turned me on, it was a rock album, was the album called Trilogy by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And I know that John Pruitt likes this album because he plays some songs from it all the time. Anyway, it wasn't a vinyl record, however. He had this album in an 8-track. we were laughing at 8 tracks. Why? Who didn't love 8 tracks? If you don't know what an 8-track is, it was a tape. It's like this big that you stuck in this thing in a record, and in the middle of the song, in an inopportune moment, it would just stop and go click and then move on. I mean, imagine that. Think like 2001 Space Odyssey. Da, 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 click. Da, da. It's ridiculous. Well, after that, we had cassettes, and that's what I kind of grew up listening to. I had tons of cassettes of stuff. And then you had CDs, and who still has cassettes? Anybody? You have something to play cassettes on? You do? Does anybody have 8 tracks? No. Well, we got one. Do you have something to play an 8-track on? No? Okay. Okay, well, anyway. After that, we had cassettes. Some people still use cassettes. That's what I grew up listening to. And then we had CDs, right? And then we had the ability to have portable cassettes and CDs, right? The Walkman. Does anybody still have a Walkman? There you go, Martin, our stewardship guy. Yeah, so we had all these technologies from the past. And then from a video standpoint, we had Beta, we had VHS, and from computers, we didn't have hard disks. Initially, they had 5 1/4-inch floppy drives. You all remember in terms of videos, like on a Friday night after work or something, you'd go down to the Blockbuster or the town video store and rent a movie for the weekend that you could watch, and you had to bring it back a couple days later. Now all those video stores are like Subway shops. So, any other technologies that you remember from your past that are no longer around anymore? Reel-to-reel tapes. Okay, yeah. What's that? Laser discs. Rotary phone. Yes, I had a rotary phone for so many years with like a 2-foot cord for so many years. What's that? iPod minis. MP3 players, yeah. So we had all this stuff. It was like, I think it was, wow, it was a big deal when we got a wall mount push-button phone in our house. 1 phone, 9 children. That's ridiculous. The title of this morning's service is Interdependence, Transformation, and Generosity, but it's really not about those things. This service is about change. Generally speaking, we've moved on from 8 tracks and VHS, and cassettes, and CDs, 5.25-inch floppies, thank goodness. But there's nothing wrong with them. They served us well, and we have fond memories of them. Everyone was laughing at 8 tracks. But today's service is about change. See, interdependence, transformation, and generosity are 3 of the 6 values being proposed by the Article 2 Study Commission as representatives of UU values. Yes, this is another service about the Article 2 Study Commission. It's my 3rd one. It will be the last one of this church year. But I know I really want this congregation to be informed about what's going on in the denomination, because this is probably the biggest thing potentially that's happened since I've been a UU since 1993. So I want you to be informed about what's happening, how it's happening, what your role can be, and what questions you have, or the process, okay? So this is my final service for this church year. There might be more later. We've all heard the saying that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And there's definitely truth to that. Because technologies over time change. They change, no question. But our needs and the needs of the world generally do not change. We all want to love and to give and receive love, to be able to be comforted and to give comfort to others. We all want to be a part of a community where we are seen and heard. We all want those things. We all want to be treated fairly and to feel like we can make a difference in the world and in our communities. Those needs don't typically change over time. Now, our current Article 2 principles and purposes were developed in 1985. That was about the time that we first put a push-button wall-mounted phone in our house in Pittsburgh. Yes, 1985. Now, there's new wording in this Article 2. New wording has been proposed. It's like new technology. It's a new tool that we can use. But the needs and the needs of the world really haven't changed. The goals haven't changed. Our mission hasn't changed. It's just a new technology that will eventually be replaced by a future generation. But what is being proposed? It's today's tool to help carry the best of who we are forward into the future, so we can continue to be loved and to give love, to care for one another, to be seen and heard in our communities, to be treated fairly, and to make a difference.
At this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them, and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you are so moved, please feel free to come forward, drop a pebble in the bowl, and while wearing your mask, we're not wearing a mask today, that's okay, express a joy or a sorrow that you may have. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it in the chat.
Good morning, I'm Randy Blosh. I have a pebble of concern for my sister, Cindy Joyce, who was with her husband in Calgary for a getaway and a ski trip, and she took a fall and fractured both shoulders. She is in a hospital in Calgary and stable, and they've got her stabilized, but the next trick is figuring out how to get her home to Richmond, Virginia.
Good morning. My name is Gus Hadar, and this is a pebble of sorrow and gratitude. Sorrow for the people that are facing the war in Ukraine, and gratitude for the people that are fighting for democracy for all of us throughout the world.
I'm Miriam Patanian, and I have a joy. Many of you may have heard us talk about John's detached retina from last April. And he had to, have emergency surgery, and he had to be face down for a week while the rest of us went to London for vacation. So it's been a really, really long road. He had a cataract surgery. That surgery causes a cataract to form. He had the cataract removed, and his vision went from where he couldn't even see the top line of the vision chart to being 20/80, which is amazing. And within a few weeks, he'll be able to go and get a new prescription for glasses. So thank you for everyone who helped to support. And and you can, you'll see him later today, and you can, know that he can actually see you.
Hi, I'm Bruce Langston, and this is a pebble of concern for my friend Miles Daly, who is the father of one of Dylan's first friends when we moved here in we moved here in 95. He probably met Alan around 1997 or 1998. And so Alan's father, Miles, had a stroke on Friday, a week ago Friday. And I went and saw him in the hospital yesterday. He's very alert, he's aware, he knows what's going on, he can speak, he can hear. It takes him a minute to understand what you're saying and form his reply. But this is for Miles and a quick recovery.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Rohan, and I'm dropping this pebble for my mother's 80th birthday, which is this coming Thursday. My sister's here from London for the little celebration, so just keep Roseanne Gallia in your thoughts on Thursday as she turns 80. I'm like stuck.
There's one last pebble for those joys or sorrows too tender to share.
As I've related on a couple of occasions, after 2 years of effort, the UUA's Article 2 Study Commission has released its final report regarding changes to the UUA bylaws. The most significant alterations and changes have to do with the replacement of our UU principles with a section that's called Values and Covenants. So you're probably saying, like, what? Replace our principles? Do away with our principles? Goodness. Yeah, well, that's technically what's happening. In the proposed wording, there's no longer a listing of our principles. Yet the spirit and the true essence of the principles are definitely present. Instead of Article 2 being rooted in a set of shared principles, the proposed version, with love at the center, is rooted in a set of 6 shared values. In the new version, the principles are then explicitly or implicitly expressed, referenced, in alignment with each of the values. So here's the Commission's thinking on this. They say, for some, the current principles serve as a theological statement, a personal code of ethics, and a way to evangelize by explaining who we are. For all these reasons, we felt we would be better served by a structure in which we articulate our shared values, and then use these values as the ground for aspirational statements of action. Before we begin to explore the alterations, I will read to you a few statements included in the newly proposed version. I've read these before, and you're going to hear them again in a minute. But these are taken right from the new section, the proposed words. Every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes. We honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in the great web of life. Do these sound familiar? In your order of service this morning is a visual, the front page, of the 6 proposed values with love at the center. This visual, I believe, is actually going to be part of the UUA bylaws. It's part of Article 2. With love at the center, the 6 values are interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity. And now we will Greg and I, will read the entire Article 2 section. It's not that long.
As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together, and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love.
Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships.
Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions.
Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect.
Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality.
Equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities.
Okay, that's it. That's the full section of the values and covenant section in Article 2. The remaining parts of Article 2, some of which were changed, they're more minor changes. And that's the rest of the whole Article 2 is only 200 words. Okay? So that's what we're talking about, changing. Now you're probably thinking, but that's not how I define those terms, equity and justice. I define justice as blah, 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 or I define equity as, fill in the blank, and that's okay. Again, I've said this before, words are important. And certain words that might resonate with you, how you might define them, might not resonate with me and vice versa. That's probably a given. But rather than focus on precise definitions of words, something upon which we will never agree, we will not agree, I will ask that you try to see yourself in there in some way, to see that your view of justice is good enough, as long as you're in there. That's what I will ask of you. During second hour this morning, and again next week, we will have an Article 2 Study Commission forum where you can come and learn more about it. You can comment on it. You can ask questions. I might not have all the answers. I didn't write it, but you can hear from others how they feel about Article 2. So that will be today and next week. And today, the Sunday service reflection and this forum will be combined, okay? Next week, there'll be there'll be a separate service, there'll be a separate Sunday service discussion, and separate Article 2 discussion. But today, they'll be combined. It'll be downstairs in Fellowship Hall, and we'll try to fit as many people as we can. Unitarian Universalists respect the right of conscience. We have no specific creed that we ask anyone to profess. We are not a creedal community. We are a covenanted community. What that means is that things like theology, religion, faith, even values, it's not really about what we believe those things to be. No, it's not about words on a page, but a covenant community sees these things, theology, faith, religion. It's really about how we do these things together and what we do in the world. So it's not about what we believe, it's about how we are together and what we do together. And for us here at UUMAN, our mission is to nurture the spirit, strive for justice, transform the world. Science fiction writer Octavia Butler writes that all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. And the only lasting truth is change. And in the Article 2 Commission report, they write, quote, "Whenever there is change, there is loss. And whenever there is loss, there is grief. We honor the fact that there is loss in changing what has become so familiar to us. We were also mindful that we need not lose everything. We need not lose everything. With love at the center, may we together carry the best of who we are forward into a new day."
We are going to join together this morning in the spirit of meditation. I've asked Alex to join in and along with our little meditation and play with us as we go. But this will not be an ordinary meditation. There will be no babbling brooks or singing birds, no rainbows or unicorns. This meditation is about us, here, and right now. Sometimes we can choose to have our eyes closed, sometimes not. Sometimes we'll be visualizing what can be, and sometimes we'll be seeing what is. So join me. Get comfortable in your seat. Let's take a walk together. Let's take a deep breath and follow me on this journey. I ask you to imagine yourself walking in your favorite place, alone. You feel the sun on your face, the breeze blowing by. You're at peace. And right there, right in front of you, appears a sign hanging in the air as if by magic. And that sign says, Interdependence. What does it mean? And why is it in my meditation? Even though we are walking by ourselves, we realize that we need each other. We need each other. Whether it's someone to laugh with or cry with or have a cup of tea with, we need each other. So for just a moment, let's open our eyes. Look around now. Find a person in this space. You may not even know them. And tell them, I need you. Out loud if you want to, or send them the feeling. They will know.
And let's take another breath. And let's close our eyes again if you wish, and continue our walk together. But we're not alone anymore. We've been joined by all these wonderful people around us. And as we round our next bend, a new sign appears above us. It says pluralism. And as we go through our meditation, look around you. You'll see Christians and Jews and Muslims and atheists and pagans and those who question. Brown people, black people, white people, trans people, women, men, those with different abilities. All those who make up this rainbow, this beautiful rainbow of humanity. We can all coexist in this space, in this place, in this time. We say at the beginning of every service, whoever you are, wherever you are from, whoever you love, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Welcome to coexist and walk with us and make our way together down this path. Let's take another breath and continue. And we look ahead, and hanging over the path is a sign saying justice. Justice is a big word. Justice for who? Let's come back to this space, UUMAN, for a moment. Look around. Who needs justice? How about justice for women to be allowed to make their own decisions on their bodies? Justice for people of color who want to be able to walk down the street without fear of being singled out because of the color of their skin. Justice for our LGBTQ plus family members who live their lives as their true selves without retribution or limitations because of who they are. Justice. Real justice for all. But how can we ensure that justice for all? Let's take another breath. And let's keep walking and see what awaits us. And as we continue down our path, equity is our next signpost. Can we have true justice for all unless we have equity for all? Equity for women in the workplace, and for people of color in lending and credit. Equity for all in education. Equity for our children who just want to be their genuine selves without worrying about which restroom they are allowed to use. Equity. Equal treatment, equal rights, equal value, true equity for all. It's a big ask. How do we do it? The way forward isn't clear. And we'll take another breath. It seems overwhelming, at least to me. So many ways we can go forward, so many paths. These values we espouse to call our own seem like a no-brainer to me, but all of this won't happen by itself. It will take some magic, real magic in the form of love, real love for all who are here, have been here, or could be here. So as we continue down our path, look at the sign in front of you. It says transformation. But what does it mean? We as a faith tradition believe in these values already, don't we? It's not us, it's them, right? They are the ones who need to change. They are the ones who need transformation, right? What good would it do for the world if we transformed? But transformation isn't a thing. It's a process. It's a process that requires us to change gently and love fiercely. For transformation to happen in the world, we need to start here. We need transformation from this small little church on Crabapple Road, from a place where we feel safe, to a place that creates a safe space for those out there who don't have a safe space and don't even know that we exist. To a church who's willing to go beyond our walls to welcome those here and encourage them to enhance us by being who they truly are. A space where we all are truly welcome. Let's take this path and continue on our way, and we'll see another fork in the road. I need one more deep breath. I wonder, as we come to this fork, how can we transform this place, our little church on Crabapple? A place that embodies these values that we use to define who we are as a faith community. Look, there's another signpost. This one says generosity. Our generosity helps define us. We are a generous people in this place. But to achieve that transformation, it requires us to take our generosity outside these walls, outside where we are comfortable. Whether it's a cup of coffee and a chat with somebody new today after service, traveling outside our comfort zone to travel and sit with a friend who needs your support, teaching RE or yes, even increasing your pledge. We have always been generous, but we must redefine generosity to complete our transformation. I don't have the answer to what that will look like. There will probably not be a magic sign that will appear on your journey to tell you when to be more generous. But I believe you will know, because of who you are, who we are, we will know. And a last deep breath. Which path to take? Which path will lead us to our destination? We will know because the one thing that ties us all together and the thing that we are most generous with is not our time or our talents, which we have so many of, or even our treasures, but the thing that ties us together and it makes all this possible is our love. The love we have for this faith tradition, the love we have for this place, and most especially the love we have for each other. We are abundantly generous with our love. And it's that love that truly defines us, that leads us to want equity and justice, that welcomes all who come here, no matter who you are or where you're from or who you love or where you are on your spiritual journey. Here, we take that journey together. Here we have transformed and will continue to transform into all that we are and all that we can be. It's here on this path with these values that we are defined and will continue to be defined. And even though we might be journeying on our own, we are never alone. Open your eyes if you've closed them. Look around. See what you have created and that vision of what we can continue to create and make it so. See those who will be there on your journey because they know you will be on their journey. These new values have always been our values, and now we name them. Interdependence, pluralism, justice, equity, transformation, and generosity. All made possible by the love we have for each other, love we have for our world, and love we have for our faith. And to borrow from my Christian upbringing, but it really fits here, a love that surpasses all understanding. That love will lead us forward and make our path clear. We will be there for each other as we walk this path. Amen. Namaste. Ashe.
In an effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, treasure, and talents. With this, we will now take the offering. You may also give using the Givelify app. That's how I do it.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Thank you, choir. So good to hear them again. So good. We accept this sacred offering generously given by our beloved members and friends. May we use it wisely and judiciously in service to our mission.
Please rise as you are willing and able and join in singing hymn 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. We will say, I am filled with loving kindness.
extinguish the chalice. Thank you. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Poet Derek Walcott writes, "To change your language, you must change your life." Yes, change is hard. It involves loss and grief. Yet I hope this change in our language re-inspires us, refocuses us, renews us, renews you in this faith, this living tradition of Unitarian Universalism, and that ultimately changes your life. Go in peace and enjoy your week.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Amen.
That was awesome. I like this.
Just in case there are people who want to talk to us. We'll see.
That's awesome. The click and all that. It's ridiculous.